Along the backroads of Arizona, just miles from the highway, there's an old roadside motel where the number of rooms changes after dark. Travelers swear they've seen an extra door, a room that appears only when the motel wants someone alone inside it. This is what happened when I accidentally stayed there, and discovered room 214. In early November, I was on a long drive through northern Arizona, heading toward Flagstaff after a work assignment. A sudden sandstorm rolled in, and visibility dropped to almost nothing. I pulled over, checked my phone, and realized I was over 50 miles from the nearest town. My GPS showed a small motel 5 miles off the road, Red Creek Motor Lodge. I had no other choice. I took the exit and followed an empty stretch of road until the motel appeared in the middle of nowhere. A long, U-shaped building with faded red paint, a flickering neon sign, and a parking lot full of dust. The office door creaked when I entered. The manager barely looked up, checked me in, and handed me a key. Room 213. The place was almost empty, and the air felt strangely heavy, like the motel itself hadn't been disturbed in years. As I walked down the outdoor corridor, I counted the room numbers. 209, 210, 211, 212, 213. And then I saw it. Room 214. There shouldn't have been a room 214. The building clearly ended there. From the outside, the motel's blueprint didn't allow for any additional space. But the door stood there anyway, a dull, unlit, metal door with peeling paint, as though it had been added long ago and then forgotten. I checked my key again. 213. I shook off the odd feeling and went to my room. My room was musty but manageable. A single bed, a small table, and a window that faced the empty desert. The motel was so quiet that even the hum of the old refrigerator felt loud. Around midnight, I woke up to a faint noise. A steady, repetitive tapping. It came from the wall behind my bed, the wall that bordered room 214. At first, I assumed someone else had checked into that room. But the tapping continued in a slow, unsettling rhythm. It didn't sound human. It didn't sound urgent. It sounded patient. I stepped outside to check the corridor. The entire row of rooms was dark. No lights under any door. No footsteps. No voices. And room 214. Its door was barely open now. Just enough to show absolute darkness inside. No light. No movement. Just darkness. I went back to my room, closed my curtains, and tried to sleep. The tapping eventually stopped, but the uneasiness stayed. At the front desk the next morning, I mentioned the tapping sound. The manager stiffened immediately. He didn't ask when it happened. He didn't ask which wall. He simply said, "No one stays in that room." I glanced at the guest list on his desk. Room 214 wasn't on it at all. The list ended at 213. When I asked why the room existed if no one used it, he finally explained. Years ago, a woman traveling alone stayed in that room. She was found dead the next morning, no injuries, no struggle, eyes wide open as if staring at something that terrified her. Since then, strange noises had been reported by guests staying nearby, tapping, scratching, whispers. The motel eventually blocked off the room, removed it from the system, and told staff not to mention it. But the door still appeared, even when they tried to remove it. And the noises never stopped. I told myself it was just an old building with a creepy reputation. Nothing more. But that night, the room showed me otherwise. Around 2 a.m., the tapping came back. Louder, more deliberate. Then something new, a faint vibration in the wall, as if something on the other side was pressing against it. The temperature in my room dropped sharply. The air felt dense, like the oxygen was thinning. And then, my door unlocked by itself. The latch clicked. The door eased open an inch. Cold air rushed in from the corridor. I stepped out to check. Every room was dark, except one, room 214. Its door now stood fully open. A cold draft poured from inside it. The darkness didn't feel like normal darkness. It felt thick, almost textured, like it had weight. I didn't hear voices or footsteps, just a deep, unnatural silence, the kind that makes your instincts scream to run. I didn't approach the door. I didn't try to look inside. Everything in me said that the room wasn't empty. That whatever had opened the door had done so deliberately. I backed into my room, closed my door, and stayed awake until dawn. At sunrise, I packed and went straight to the front desk to check out. The manager didn't ask why I was leaving early. He simply said, "You saw it, didn't you?" I asked him something that had bothered me since the first night. If the room is sealed and unsafe, why not demolish it? He took a deep breath before answering. Because we've tried. Multiple times. Contractors removed the door. The wall rebuilt itself overnight. They sealed it with concrete. The next morning, the door was back. He paused. Room 214 doesn't belong to this building. It belongs to whatever is inside it. I left Red Creek Motor Lodge without looking back. But sometimes when I'm driving alone at night in isolated stretches of highway, I think about that room, about the tapping, the open door, the darkness that felt alive. And occasionally, when everything around me is silent, I swear I hear that same slow, patient tapping. The tapping from a room that was never meant to be built. Some places in America aren't haunted because someone died there. They're haunted because something was born there. And some rooms are still waiting for their next visit.